Hey there, Crusty Crew. I'm going to tell you 4 tips on how to improve your art fast like I did. Hopefully this helps you. If it sounds like I'm reading from a script, I am. Get ready to lock in, chat. Alright, our first one is Arts Inspo. To be able to draw whatever you want easily, you need to have an artist who draws in a similar style that you want to. Why? You can train your hand to start drawing like them, but make sure you have multiple of these. You don't want to fully copy an artist. Once you have these artists, you can start doing master studies, which is just copying their work. I would recommend not to post any of these unless you give credit. This will help with your visual library and art style. Next section, practice and methods. So what I did different around that time was timed figure drawings and sometimes timed heads. Why you should do them? It forces you to make quick decisions, so then when you go to sketch, you're not taking like an hour doing the sketch and now you're exhausted and you have to wait the next day to finish it. If you already know all the basics of the anatomy, remember you don't have to know all the muscles unless you really want to. This practice will also help because just because you know anatomy does not mean you can draw bodies. You have to practice drawing that anatomy that you know with the bodies. So that's why I would say figure drawing is one of the best ones you can do. On to heads. I recently actually started timing them, which I think is pretty good because I'm not spending like a whole hour on only 5 heads. So you're not focusing on every detail in these, you're just getting the major parts. The biggest thing is mapping out shapes. It helps with everything. At least for me. I use shapes to draw bodies, heads, just everything. But anyways, so you have the head practice, figure drawing. If you're not good with 3D shapes, you probably just want to practice a few. You don't need to do a lot. You don't. 3D shapes also help with objects, animals, furniture, whatever you want to draw. But you don't need to draw a lot of them. Let's see. Okay, so you can also do gesture drawing. I don't do that because one time I did I think it was 204 days, and guess what? I still can't even draw fluidly. Yeah, so make sure you aren't drawing passively because you're just gonna end up wasting pages. Okay, so the biggest thing is you want to try as many methods as you can. Think of your brain as, okay, so you know how there's different methods that work for everyone, right? You can draw, you just have to find all of those methods. That's the hard part. If everyone knew all the practices and the methods that work for them, I'm pretty sure everyone would just be good artists. That's the hard part. So just try every method that you can. Even if you don't want to, just give it a try. It might actually improve your art. I couldn't draw heads for months, and I tried everything, and eventually, guess what? All I do to draw them is a spear and a line. Yeah, a spear and a line, and I tried every method. So, yeah. Okay, next section is things to avoid. Make sure you are not drawing passively, because when you start drawing passively, any work you do just won't really matter. Alright, to check if you're drawing passively, if you're practicing or drawing and you have no thoughts, you're just copying the image, that's you drawing passively. What I did when I did gestures was I did it passively, and I wasn't really thinking, oh, why does this curve this way? And yeah, that was a waste of time. So make sure you are not drawing passively. If you're not questioning why something looks a certain way, or you're not drawing it in 3D, that's passive drawing. Symbols, we already did symbols. Just make sure you aren't drawing in symbols. That will really help a lot. Okay, so if you feel bad about your art, don't. You can't be upset because your art looks bad. You just haven't had all the experience yet. I'm pretty sure you've already heard this, but don't compare yourself to someone who's drawing well after 10 years. They had 10 years to fail, but however long you've been drawing, you can't really compare yourself. So yeah, after I stopped doing that, you know, drawing was more fun. Just don't feel bad. You're supposed to just have fun. Yeah. Okay, next one is overworking. Don't do a lot of practices. I used to do so many practices and I did so many and they don't really work. But you wonder what did work? Doing a lot less. Maybe like once a week I'll do one of my figure drawings, maybe heads. Just don't force yourself because if you're not having fun, I mean, why would you even want to draw? Just make sure you know what you should be practicing, but try to make it easier on yourself when you do. But yeah, less is more. Yeah. Next is mindset. I would say this is also a really important one. Whatever you do, just try to be positive. Art, I mean, it's just art. If you feel bad about your art, like, just don't. It's just a drawing on a piece of paper. You can't be upset if you haven't drawn 1,000 hands, but the ones you currently draw look bad. It should motivate you to want to practice, not too much, but to actually practice that thing. What I did was I just kind of faked being positive about my art, and now I don't feel as bad. But if you just feel really bad about your art, just take a break. It's not worth getting so upset over. Also, drawing ugly really helps. The more you draw ugly, the more loose your hand feels. I've tried drawing ugly for like 2 weeks now, and my hand is super loose. Even when my art looks like straight up garbage, I can just quickly put something down on the paper. Usually I don't do it because I don't feel like it, but just try drawing ugly. I think of it as the more you draw ugly, the more room you have to draw pretty later, because like if once you draw ugly first, you already know how not to draw it. So I mean, it's still a win if you draw bad. Well, in your eyes. So yeah, that's pretty much it. If you have any questions, ask me in the comments. I'll probably do a draw with me maybe soon. Yeah. Thanks for watching!